واحد جوج ثلاثة أربعة خمسة. I'm Oumayma and today we are on set with Khamsa. I'm originally Moroccan. Let's just start with that. I was born and raised in the Netherlands and I moved to the GCC 6 years ago now. A lot of earthy tones, yeah, and blue, because I grew up in a small town that was close by the water, so by the sea, so I'll say that. I think people that know me personally, that just don't know me on if you put the social media side apart, they think I'm very funny. So I would say funny, caring, like I really love to care, I just want to make sure that everyone around me has a great time. And can I say stylish? If I'm not mistaken, or 2 years ago, that really sort of changed my life. I went on a multiple solo trip that was so nice. Southeast Asia. So I was carrying one suitcase and I was just not backpacking, but backpacking, but then the Oumayma way, I guess. I think my father, for sure, my dad, I think he is mainly one of the reasons why I started doing whatever I'm doing today. He's been my main inspiration. Somehow I always wanted to work either in fashion or something that involves traveling. Yeah, I sort of found a mix between both, which I'm very grateful for. But I think that's what I always wanted to do. I knew from a very young age that I wanted to do something that involves creativity and fashion and traveling. So I'm scared of to not be able to do what I love to do, that one day I'll wake up and then I'm so over everything, if that makes sense. I'm scared to do this till a point where I wake up one day and be okay, no, I don't want to do it, because I wanted to do this in the first place because it was sort of my hobby. I loved doing it, so I sort of made my hobby my job your love, instead of love your job, right? If that makes sense. I did it. So yeah, I would say that's one of my biggest fears, to just wake up one day and be I'm so over it, I'm so over everything, I don't want to do this anymore, because I genuinely love it. So long story short, I think I was, as a teen, I was sort of looking for my personality, as in who am I, if that makes sense. And I think I found out from a very young age that I wanted to do something in fashion. I loved experimenting with clothes. Whenever I used to get pocket money from my parents, I would go and go to a thrift shop and buy something, try to DIY it, make it my own. And then out of a sudden I started taking pictures of my outfits and sharing them online. This was in 2011, before Instagram, before all the social media, TikTok. Started posting photos of my outfits on Lookbook. That was a platform back in the day where cool people all around the world would post their outfits and write about them. And I think that's how I started. And then I got into Blogspot, and then after Blogspot I got into WordPress. So I know a little bit about HTML and I'm a bit of a geek inside. That's how I started. And then Instagram came, but I did not have an iPhone, and by that time Instagram was only available for iPhone. Yeah, and then after a year it was finally available for Android. And then I made an Instagram profile, and I think that's how I sort of gained the audience that I have today. And I wanted to create something that not a lot of people had, something special. I think it all went so fast when I was nominated for an award back in Holland, and I think that's how I got picked up by a few agencies that wanted to sign me as one of their talents. And I think that's how I sort of made it my full-time job. And I was working in a clothing store back in the days, and I was you know what, let's just take the risk and do it. How much protein is in 100 grams of shrimps? Yeah, like I'm trying to track my macros, so well, I'm Moroccan obviously, and I think we use a lot our hands, so I guess that this is the way I dance, you know, like always. I don't know where that hand movement came from. I think for me now it's traveling. Like I really stay inspired by traveling. I get inspired by a lot of like cultures, what they're wearing, the colors, you know, the smell, everything. Every time when I travel, I like to take something from their cuisine, for example, and just try to experiment it back home. So to not give a damn about what everyone thinks and says. Like I keep saying it, you know? And I know it sounds very, I feel like maybe people are gonna be like, yeah, you cannot be saying that because you post stuff online, so you're sort of like depending on comments and criteria you get from people. But I think at the end of the day, you always need to do whatever you want to do and whatever makes you feel the best, you know? I think now I'm really starting to love Morocco more, if that, like, I've always had obviously a connection with Morocco, but I think now since I've started traveling a lot back and forth, I would say probably Casablanca. Yves Saint Laurent, yeah, because of his connection with Morocco as well, and to me he's the best designer in my opinion. Obviously Carl as well, but I felt a connection with Yves Saint Laurent when growing up. Virgil Abloh, like he brought so much to the industry, the way how he sort of like obviously like connected street with high-end fashion. I think that's very inspiring. You know who I really like, and I think she's so cool? I'll say Rihanna. Obviously I grew up on the internet, so everything that has like I love memes. Like memes make me laugh the most, especially the comment sections are insane. Like whenever you see a funny video, I can guarantee you that the comments are 100 times more funnier. Okay, should I open them or like I think my happy place is definitely, my father grew up in a city in Morocco. It's called Ouarzazate, and it's surrounded by Atlas Mountains, and it's literally in the middle of like a rose valley. And I absolutely love that area so much because it's so peaceful, and it just makes you forget about the chaotic world that we live in right now. So that's definitely my happy place. I would be in Morocco in the middle of a countryside with just cows and like normal people around me, you know? And I love that mix. And I think that's so important, and I think that's how you stay true to your roots. I think there's only one message that matters right now. Free Palestine. I'm very good in accents, apparently. I have a lot of French friends, so like they always talk like this. Always oui, bien sûr, you know, avec, I just went to Paris and just got back, and I think